Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Not dressed too nice today. Look, pay us again. They're out of shape. I like them braided. I like it with my mother. I have my mother, my wife's fingers. God bless her soul. Her fingers are real, not stubby. Where my mother's hands are real pointy. Her fingers are pointing at the end. And so she usually braids them at Payas. I like them braided. Um, so she usually French braids them going down. So Baruch Hashem. So I am going to be reading from the Naum Elimelech. Very good Sefer. And from last week's parasha, a story. Now you have to understand. People say, "Well, it's Monday. Why last week's parasha?" There's a teaching we see in Judaism where we don't start preparing for the next Shabbat um, until Wednesday. Wednesday is the lowest point spiritually. So if you're looking at it like this is Wednesday, and both ends are Shabbos. Or you bring it to the middle of both ends of Shabbos and it goes down like this. The Shabbos, the week goes like the weeks of the month, they go like this, like a rhythm. So we're still we still have the spirit from last Shabbos all the way until Wednesday or Tuesday night. And this is why you could do Havdalah technically till Tuesday night. It's not recommended, but because it's really a short ceremony, but you could do it to Tuesday night. So, what I'm gonna read a story. Um, Rabbi Elimelech, Reb Zisha, and the Heretic. This is a very good story. Hope you guys learned something. I learned something from it as well. It was Erev Yom Kippur when they came to the Beth Midrash. Since they were disguised as poor beggars, they had no place to eat. And so they waited in the Beth Midrash for an invitation. This was Rabbi Elimelech and Rabbi Zisha. But none came. Men entered to daven, Shakaris, and left. No one offered the two brothers an invitation to the festival or Erev Yom Kippur meal. The holy brothers were greatly distressed at the thought that they might have to fast on Yom Kippur, a day on which it is a mitzvah to eat. Just as the young man entered the Beth Midrash, he noticed the two beggars huddled on a bench. He approached and asked them if they had eaten yet that day in honor of the Yom Tov. They shook their heads. Obviously, no. And this was Rabbi Elimelech and Rabbi Zisha. I am sorry, dear sirs. That's what the young man told them. But I have already eaten my Yom Tov feast, and I cannot offer you a meal. I do, however, have some cake and brandy left over, and he brought it to them to eat and drink. The two brothers rejoiced that Hashem had spoken to this young man's heart, so that he would honor them with food and with drink that day. They would not need to fast on Yom Kippur. The next year, they ended up in the same town on Erev Yom Kippur. And the scenario repeated itself. They had no food, and no one invited them to eat the meal. Again, the young man appeared and asked them if they were hungry, and again he brought them food as he'd done the year before. The third year, the scenario repeated itself, but this time the young man did not come. The holy brothers were distraught at the events. Sunk in despair, one of the brothers said, "Let us go search this young man. Maybe we will find him." They searched for him and no avail. They could not find him. Let us go in search of him in the whole world. They meditated and searched for him in their minds, but they could not locate him. Finally, let us search for him in the upper worlds. They searched and they found. They located him in the most unlikely places, standing at the highest point of a church steeple. The brother said, "Since this young man did us such a great favor twice and saved us from fasting on Yom Kippur, we we must pay him back in kind. We must find a way to save him from the impure place and bring him someplace pure." Using their mental faculties and spiritual powers, they were able to enter the young man's mind and pull him away from his heretical thoughts, strengthening the young man's Jewish soul, and he regretted his deeds and repented. So, let's talk about a few things here. One is the whole idea of you're supposed to fast on Yom Kippur, of course. However, before Yom Kippur, you are supposed to eat. So you're not supposed to go into Yom Kippur famished. You're supposed to go Yom Kippur physically okay, so your mind will work rather than going cloudy with hunger. This isn't just a church that I don't think they're talking about. Primarily, yes, this is the most pagan thing in Europe at the time was the Catholic Church due to idolatry and different things of Vodazara, which were different, statues and whatnot. But this could go to any religion outside of Judaism. This could go to Hinduism. This could go into the different branches of Reform Judaism or Jewish substitutions like Messianism and different those different ideas as well. It doesn't just span upon Judaism. This is the most important thing, especially dealing with converts and people who convert to Judaism and having a place for them. And definitely you should, in all actuality, to be able to place for them so they won't go back to their former practices. Or even someone who is ethnically Jewish and coming into observance, you should also have this place open for them, so they are not turned away. Now we see a interesting thing going on in the world where people who are Guris who are being turned away, or who are Jewish and they're being turned away because they're not quote unquote religious enough. This is a huge problem because how people can be be very from there being and non-Jews who are coming to Judaism who are already very from, they're being turned away and rejected by whole communities. And even if they haven't met the individual and whatnot, and they're coming to be a part of something or Shabbos or whatever, now it could be many different things. But we're seeing a very strong rejection of people. And this isn't right. We all know this isn't right. And, of course, there's different ideas, different hashkafas, and different things of this sort that you deal with. But they will have to answer in the world to come. They do have to answer Hashem for those things. And so I think like here we see Rabbi Elimelech and Rabbi Zisha taking the initiative of searching out for their brother and making sure he goes to a kosher place rather than a very unkosher place, because this is what nourishes the Jewish soul. So something to think about for all of you and even for myself. So I won't keep you guys today. Take this story to heart. Coming this Purim, which Purim is funny. It says in Purim, even the people who weren't Jewish became Jews because of Purim, because of the light that was shown to the Jews. So we need to take this to heart, especially this time of year. So Baruch Hashem, keep your heart open to those and have a kosher Purim.